interference, baby. This is Congress. Oh, fuck yeah.
What we do here is go back.
Hello and welcome to No Interference. I'm your host, Elijah, and this is the show where we interview cool people who do cool things. On the show tonight, we do in fact have two very cool guests. Cool not only because they're super talented, but also cool for their willingness to help us get our own show off the ground. So please welcome to the show Bella and Lee of New Misphoria. Welcome. How are you guys doing tonight?
So good. We got a show tonight. We're excited. Club Congress. Really, really well. This is like my nerves have just been kind of like built up all day. And now I'm like, oh, I'm at the venue. Everything's okay.
My nerves have also been built up all day, like about this. So I'm really glad we're just finally getting out of the way. What would you say the color of your day has been today?
Oh my gosh.
Personally, I'm feeling like a light brown. I don't know why, but today has just been a light brown day.
I think today is like a saguaro green for me.
Saguaro green. Okay.
That's a nice one. Today's like an opal. Can I say that? It's been a little bit mixed around, but just like lots of emotions on show days, I think. So that's what I have to say.
Would you guys say, there's always lots of emotions on show day. Do you guys still get stage fright whenever you perform, or?
I think on the drums, it really depends. I think like the drums I'm comfortable enough with to where I kind of just feel like I'm in my own zone, but I do definitely get stage fright about speaking, I think sometimes.
And what about you, being the front runner for the band almost? Would you say that you get stage fright when you're up there singing and playing the guitar?
Honestly, no. I think it's one of the things that I'm most grateful for. I get pre-stage fright and I freak out the whole time leading up to it. And then as soon as I'm off stage, I freak out again. But when I'm up there, it's like the few moments of my life where I just like feel no anxiety.
When you're up there, no nerves, no nothing. I wish I was like that. So tonight you are performing with the Sinks and Female Gaze. Is it true that tonight is the Sinks' final show?
Well, that's what they say. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that they're lying, but apparently I have no comment. No comment.
I like their music, so I really hope it's not true. I really hope it's not just like an inside joke.
I know.
But, if it is their final show, is that a special feeling to be part of it?
Oh, totally. They're like one of the first bands we ever played with when we started live. And they're also just like good friends of ours. And I think that we like represent a similar like age demographic of the scene. So I think that we connect really well. And it's like always so special. Mm-hmm. And I feel lucky that they chose us for this show. I know. Yeah.
How does it feel to be part of Tucson's sort of emerging indie rock scene, if you could call it that?
Oh man, it feels like the craziest ride. I feel so grateful. There's just like, I think people discount what Tucson has to offer. So to be part of like the thing that creates this like sense of community is like, it's so inspiring and life-giving. And if I could have known that this was going to happen years ago, I wouldn't have believed it. I just like feel so lucky.
Did you ever think that you guys were going to get as big as you are now or have the following that you do?
I did not really have like any expectation going into it. I just knew I really want to play music with this person. And I think that's kind of what like built it up to be what it is now. It's like we're just very comfortable with each other and very comfortable with what we do. And I don't know, we've just ended up in a crazy place now. I'm like very grateful as well.
Was there ever that sort of like, oh shit, we're in a band moment? Or would you say, you were doing these shows and then you just sort of realize like, oh, this is just happening?
No, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I think like I grew up really loving music, and I went to like a lot of live shows when I was really young, like starting from like age 8. So when I started like actually playing the drums in bands, it was like, oh, what is going on? So yeah, I guess it was like, oh shit, I'm in a band. That's cool.
Would you say that was the same for you? Like, oh shit, I'm in a band, just all of a sudden before you realized it, or?
I don't know. I think I like really wanted to be in a band for a long time. And so something that I kind of did was like reach out to Bella and was like, let's make a band. I think my oh shit moment was more like, oh shit, we're in a band and people actually care about it. Like being in a band is really cool, but when you like can connect to people on a level that's not as surface level of just like we are a band, that was my oh shit moment. Just like, what? Crazy.
Yeah, and at least from the shows that I've been to, like audience interaction is such a big part of your whole core image, I would say. Do you think as you get bigger, you would like to continue, that image of, building a community around the band and sort of having this audience participation?
Oh, absolutely. I like some of my best friends in the whole world are people that I met at our shows, and they just liked our music. And like I've watched people I love connect with each other, and there's just like these crazy blossoming friendships. And it's like, oh shit, we're a band, but I think that like we're building this community, and I don't want that to ever stop. I think it's the best part about what we do. Yeah.
Would you agree that sort of the audience interaction is part of the core experience that is New Misphoria?
Absolutely, I do. I agree right there. It's crazy how many relationships, friendships, whatever have formed like just through people that like the band, and that's something really special. And I think that music is more than just like a one-sided, like we're just playing to you. I think it's kind of on stage, it's supposed to be like a bit of a conversation, I feel like. So yeah, absolutely, the audience participation.
So, and part of that conversation that you have with your audience, I know I read somewhere that you had said at one point that, one of sort of the themes of your music is accepting the sort of sadness that you hold within yourself and finding a way to sort of deal with it in whatever way that's healthy for you. Mm-hmm. Would you say that this is a sort of good message that, audience goers can take from your music? Or is it more of, the audience makes their own meaning?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that I communicate the meaning of my music through my expression. I don't know what I would do without the ability to perform. Being on stage is like so healing for me. And like my music means so much, and Bella just like shifts the meaning, and like the way that the audience looks at me shifts the meaning. So it's like I write from like sadness and frustration and confusion, and then like I give it to the audience and they give it back, and it's like this circle of healing. It's beautiful. It's not one thing or the other. It's just like we communicate it to each other how we need to.
Would you say, that's how sort of you look at it, that it is kind of this shared experience with the audience, and maybe, you do have these things that you present to the music, but also the audience brings their own thing back to it?
Absolutely, I agree. Sorry, I stuttered a bit. Absolutely, I agree with that. It's like, I really like what you said about the circle of healing, especially, because I think like being on that stage just kind of like, I think like seeing people also kind of like look at both of us, and like I see like the brightest smiles in the audience, and just like I'm making eye contact, and I'm like, yeah, you get it. Like to the people in the audience, it's like, you get it, you understand. And it's like I have a connection with that person even if I don't know them, and I think that's really beautiful.
So to me, at least, your music almost reminds me of sort of that 90s female-led, like angsty pop, like groups like the Cranberries were putting out. Would you say you have any sort of direct musical influence, or is it more subconscious and you're just writing what comes to mind at any given moment?
Mine is Gwen Stefani. She's a badass. Yeah, man. I hear the song Just a Girl and I'm like, yeah, I'm just a girl. And I just like want to write music about how like men step on my toes and then like wear glitter also. Yeah, she's like so inspiring to me.
So you're into like No Doubt, Gwen Stefani.
Yeah, totally. I love her. I think she's great. And Regina Spektor is a big one. I think for Bella and I both. Yes. Yeah, that was like a big bonding point. Was like, yeah, Regina Spektor.
So you would say Regina Spektor is sort of the direct musical influence that you bring to New Misphoria, or
I wouldn't say I definitely like can appreciate artists like Regina Spektor. I would say like, oh man, I mean drums is what I do. I love playing the drums. That's like how I got into this whole thing. I really like drummers like Karen Carpenter and Sheila E., Stella Mozgawa, lots of like female drummers I look up to. So yeah.
So you guys went on tour last year with the Buttertones, and those were some very big shows from what I understand. Was there ever that sort of stage fright while you were up there, or was it just, oh, this is just another show?
Yeah, that honestly might be like the time that I had the most stage fright. Just because here, like, I would say I know half of the audience of every show, and they're like people that I'm so close to, and like I have these like really cool intimate relationships with. But then you're like on tour with the Buttertones and they're there for the Buttertones, and you just like worry, like, do they even give a shit that we're doing this? And it was like really intimidating. But I think as each show passed and like we were being so reaffirmed by the Buttertones and like developing our relationship with them as people, by the end it was like totally faded. And it was just like felt like what we were doing here, but in different cities, like all over the country.
Do you think that you had stage fright, Bella, up there playing the drums?
Yeah, I had like listened to that band for like a good while before we went on tour with them, so it was like, whoa, this is surreal. But I would say I kind of went through the same process of like the first couple shows were like, oh shit, oh my god, like we really have to make an impression because these people aren't really here for us. But after like the first two shows, I was like, oh, this is cool, like this is fine. So yeah, I was good with it.
Okay, I'm going to start to wrap it up because it is getting very hot in this green room without the AC on.
Suit, yeah.
I know, I'm wearing a suit. I'm like burning up. Thank you. Do you have any advice for local bands or even just local creative projects trying to get a start?
Lean on your community. I think like I'm really grateful to Groundworks and Logan Green. Somebody like I've known Logan Green for so long, and when Bella and I were starting, like they just gave us a platform and like gave us these opportunities that we wouldn't have had access to. And I think it's really scary to ask for help, but like there's a lot of resources. So like lean on your community. Ask Bella and I, like seek out bands and people that you respect and like creatives that you look up to, because it's intimidating, but I would say most of the time they like graciously want to love and like teach and coach, because like that's where it all starts, I think that's super important.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you mentioned that, because I remember reaching out to you about doing this interview, and you had said something about how you support creatives within your local community. So I just thought that was super cool of you guys. And, once again, thank you to New Misphoria. Do you guys have any final words for the audience tonight?
What you got, Bella?
Oh my gosh. I love you.
Yeah. I love you too.
And that was New Misphoria. And thank you for watching No Interference. I love Tucson. I love how much traffic there is. I love how hot it is in Tucson. I just love Tucson. It's a great place to live.